here it goes.
We know that with great power comes great responsibility. The power of video and media can be used to do good, to inform, to help people dream, heal, to make people feel alive, to make people laugh, to empower, to incept ideas of hope, love, connection. But it can also be used for evil purposes, to misinform, to divide, to incept hate and malicious fear. It is our job here at Far Productions to help magnify the voice of those that are here to do good, those that dare to dream of a better future, those that dare to make a difference. Our weapon of choice is powerful and soulful video content that shares big ideas. Ideas that make us dream bigger and stand taller and make this world a better place. We work with small businesses that have big hearts. Leaders that understand that their job is to reach as many people as possible. Changemakers that understand the leverage and power of video to amplify their voice and message. Believe that you have been created with a purpose and a gift, and use it. And not only use it, share it. Dare to dream big and touch as many human lives as possible with what you bring to this world. And when the time comes to use video in a powerful way, to take over the world, think of us, Far Productions.
I believe that visibility and influence are the new currency in this world. So this whole interaction today here, I want to be able to read your comments. I want to be able to make this interactive, because the thing that happens when we're doing this seminars online is that it becomes like you're just consuming information. And I wanted to do something a little bit different. I wanted to actually start asking you guys some questions. The idea right now, you with me, is not to necessarily teach something, but is to do thought-provoking. I want to ask you a few questions because I heard a very smart man say that the quality of your life is related to the kind of questions you ask yourself, to the quality of the questions that you ask yourself. And I know that if you're here, you have a mission and you have a purpose. So how do we make sure that we are in intention to what we do? So let's start this whole thing with a few questions. So are you ready to turn your message into your influence? So I want you to please answer in the comments, because we want to make this super engaging. This is not just me talking, because hey, I can talk until the moon comes down, but if you guys are not engaged, then what's the point, right? Okay, so now let me ask you, are you ready to turn your influence into your currency? Because that's the whole point, right? We came here to serve people. And the beautiful thing is that in the world that we live in right now, the more people we impact, the more currency, not only energetically currency, but also the amount of impact is reflected in the amount of money you can make. My name is Castro, and what makes me different, one of the things that makes me unique is that I was born with this gift to see and feel the world in images. So when people talk, my brain automatically has cartoon characters running, explosions, sound effects. I see things in 3D. It's pretty fun up here. I have, it's like you're tripping all the time. But I thought at some point that everybody could do that, because that was my truth. So I never valued my own truth because I lived in it all the time. That's just normal. That's the way it is, right? So I want to now ask you, what is your truth? What is something that comes really easy to you? Because sometimes we mistake that because it's like breathing. So everybody else does it. So what's the big idea, right? So because of this ability, I am able to put ideas together fast. I am able to think on my feet. I am able to connect points or data points that people might not even consider. That's my superpower. My question to you is, what's your superpower? Now, I co-found a company called Ford Productions. And obviously, we do video, but we're dedicated to helping leaders, change makers, spread their message with the power of video. That's what we're here to do. At some point in my career, I was working for a big broadcast company, and I was not very proud of what I was helping to put out in the world. It made me feel sad that I was putting messages that did not make people's minds expand. To the contrary, very embarrassingly, I have to share that at some point in my career, I was creating video on demand. So this is the kind of footage that people pay for because it's not allowed on TV, but that was my assignment at that point. I was creating content like Jerry Springer. Ugh, that makes me cringe because I didn't feel proud. I would come home crying because I was born for something bigger. Ever since I was a little girl, I knew that I was born with a mission, and I am so happy to be able to do what I love and what I'm good at, and I get to hang out with people who share the same ambitious dreams to conquer the world with messages that make the world better. So I'm so glad that I'm surrounded by badasses like you guys. Thank you for this opportunity. So let's talk about using video intentionally to amplify your mission. Like I told you, this whole thing is going to be engaging, and from time to time you're going to hear this. I want to wake you up and make sure that you guys are paying attention, okay? So hopefully I'm not being too rowdy in your house. I'm so sorry for those people that I'm waking up rowdily. But not sorry. Anyways, so let me ask you a question. Let's do this. Are you clear about your message? Do you know what's the one problem you solve? Because one of the stories that I usually tell my clients when they're taking my workshop is the following story. Once upon a time, there was this guy, he lost his job. So he posted on social media, I am a graphic designer. I need anyone who knows, I am really good with images. Please, please, please tell everybody that I lost my job. I need to find a job. And everybody was like, cool, man, don't worry. Everybody gave him like, everything's gonna get better. But you know what also happened to him at that time? He also broke up with his girlfriend. So life was pretty crappy for him at that time. And he decided to use his superpower to erase the ex from his pictures. And then all of a sudden a little light bulb came up. And then he put on social media, would you like me to erase your ex from your pictures? And everybody was like, oh my God, of course. So he was flooded with a lot of work. What is the point of the story? Is that if you're just a mere graphic designer, nobody's gonna think of the one problem you solve. If you are a neuroscience that is specialized in sex and relationships, then you have someone and you fix a specific problem. Like, what if we go a little bit deeper? What if we say sex and relationships for those who X, right? Like, how do you fill in the blank to be a little bit more specific? Do what this guy did. He mentioned a problem. He said, do you want to erase your ex from your life? And then everybody was like, I'll sign up to that. I want people to remember you for something specific. That's your mission. You have to be clear about your message. How many of you are clear about that one problem you solve? And here's the thing. A lot of people get really scared about this because it's like, I solve a lot of problems. I'm a nutritionist. If people eat well, they're going to be able to sleep better. They're going to be able to go to the bathroom better. They're going to be able to do all of these great things. And that is true. But what is your point of entry? And I want you to be clear about that, because until you don't have a point of entry, you're pretty much just another fish in the ocean. and you were born to be not just someone in the ocean, you were born to stand out, right? So what problem do you solve? And hey, if you don't know this by now, it's okay. It's totally okay. There's a lot of people that are in this problem, and this is just part of your journey. So it's okay. Breathe in, breathe out, right? All right, let me go for the next question. Question number 2. Are you showing up consistently? Because the mother of success is consistency. And this goes both ways. If you're consistent, showing up doing exercises every day for 30 minutes a day, you're going to get results. Now, if you're just doing it once every 2 weeks, I don't know if you're going to get the results that you want at the speed that you need. But this also goes to the point that if you're really bad at eating, you're going to get really good at getting not very healthy, right? So please, for the love of God, if anything, if you have to prioritize anything, please prioritize consistency. And why am I saying this? Is because I would like for you to show up consistently online. I would like for you to share your message, share your vision, share your purpose, share what you solve for those who are looking for you. Okay? That's where I'm coming from. Show up consistently because people are looking for you. The problem is that you're not getting found. All right? Next question. Let me ask you, what is your digital footprint? What is your digital footprint? So if you're a specialist and what you take care of is, helping women find the love of their life after 40, right? If that's what you do, are you creating content so that people find you? If a producer from MSNBC was looking for an expert on this, would they be able to search these specific keywords and find you? Because you need to be intentional about the content that you create. You need to be able to lead the conversation of where you're going. That is your job. And I know that this sounds like, oh, that's so much work. But that doesn't have to be the case. That doesn't have to be the case. All right. So the next thing is, are you sharing stories or only information? Think about it. Are you sharing stories or only information? Because I am sure that you know that we forget like the numbers and the data, the 50%, the blah, blah, like all that minutia. Our brain, yeah, that's really good, but what's the point of that? But we remember stories. Our brains are so wired to remembering stories that even when we go to sleep, our brain stays up to make up stories in our brain. That's how ingrained storytelling is in our humanity. Sharing stories allows us to set examples where people can see themselves reflected in them. Sharing stories makes us more connected as human beings. So I want you to have a good mixture between storytelling and telling the benefits of what you bring to the table. A really good part of storytelling and statistics. It's not just all numbers and figures and facts and features. We're more complex than just that. We're humans. We require the suspense and the cliffhangers. So please, 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 please honor your own story. Honor the story of those that you serve, and start capturing those stories. It is your job to document those stories. It is your job to request people to create testimonials for you. It is your job to make sure that you reach as many people as possible. Pregunta número 5. And that is, do you have a deep understanding of your audience? I usually tell people that there's a really cool book called The Art of War. And what it says there is that there's very important things that you need to have in order to win a war. And that is knowing yourself, and then knowing your opponent, and knowing the territory. So we're not talking about war here, but we're talking about being intentional and being thoughtful and mindful. And the first thing you have to know is your strengths, your fears, your weaknesses. That's the first step. And then the next step is knowing who you serve. Do you know what does your ideal customer avatar values? Do you know what are their fears, or what lies are they telling themselves that you know to be a lie, and you can debunk those things? Like, I'm not good enough, or I'm never gonna make enough money for those financial advisors, or, nothing can fix this, right? I've tried everything and nothing works. How can you debunk those lies that they have consumed and ingrained in their brains as truths? What kind of content can you bring forward? What kind of examples can you bring to make your case that there is hope? Because being a leader is being a dealer of hope. As a leader and a change maker, your job is to awaken someone's hope of a better life, of a new beginning, of something that makes them believe that there is something in the other side, transformation. And number 6, what is stopping you from creating a system that makes marketing sustainable? That's a really big question. Because a lot of people is like, it's so much work. I don't know how to do it. I'm not technical enough. I'm not this. I haven't lost 5 pounds I need to lose before going on camera. Oh my God, I haven't, and I'm not ready, or whatever the case may be, right? And the truth is that it has to start somewhere, and you don't have to do it alone. Especially if you belong to this beautiful community, you're gonna have people that can hold you accountable. There's a ton of software right now that you can leverage so that you can stay organized and up in your game. There are systems that already exist. You don't have to start from scratch. So what is stopping you? What story are you telling yourself? Who do you have to become in order for you to make the impact that you need to make? That's a really important question. Do you have to become more brave? Do you have to become more vulnerable? Do you have to become more tactical with your time? Who do you have to become? And let me say something, because this man is someone who I love. He's like the father of marketing, as we would say. And he says something that either you're going to tell stories that spread, or you're going to become irrelevant. Do you want to become irrelevant? Or do you want to lead the conversation? That's very important. You need to think about what am I going to do to make this happen? What am I going to do to make sure that I am using my superpowers to make a greater impact, showing up for those that are looking for me, and in a world where now is totally digital. Like, I am all the way here in Miami, and I don't know where you guys are at, but this means that we get to make a global impact. We're not longer bound to, our zip codes. How many people in the world need what you have? And I believe that your best tool to make this impact is video. Why video? Because it has the most amount of information in the shortest amount of time. There is verbal and nonverbal communication in video. People get to hear your voice and they get to see your face and connect your message to your face. And they get to believe that they know you because they have been seeing you over and over and over again. We trust what is familiar. That's how our brains are wired. And the more you show up, the more you build trust. The more you show up. Like, this is something that you cannot rent out your abs, right? If you know of that service, please let me know because I would love to buy that service. You cannot rent out your abs. You can hire a trainer, but the work, you have to do it. So people who are like, oh my God, but I'm not good in camera. Listen, who do you have to become? Who do you have to become to make the impact that you were born to make? Oh my God, but I'm an introvert. There's a lot of introverts doing video. In fact, video is specifically made for introverts. You don't have to talk to anyone. You just talk to a camera. And it's a safe space because then if you edit, people don't see your mistakes. So what's the story you're telling yourself that is holding you back? Because what's the worst that can happen? Oh my God, the world is going to collapse. No, that's not going to happen, right? People are not going to like me. Like, let me tell you, that already happens. We're not like made out of gold or chocolate to be liked by everyone. And the truth is that when you are creating things that matter, there's going to be people that are going to have resistance. And that is okay. And let me ask you, what is the best thing that can happen? What if you actually get to change lives? What if you actually get to have a legacy where people will remember you forever?